Hello everyone. We are going to discuss some important questions related to plant anatomy. Question 1. What is the primary function of the plant cell wall and what are its main components? Answer. The primary function of the plant cell wall is to provide structural support, protection and shape to the cell. It also regulates cell growth and acts as a barrier against pathogens. The main components of the cell wall are cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin, lignin, and proteins. Cellulose microfibrils provide tensile strength, hemicellulose binds microfibrils, pectin provides flexibility and porosity, and lignin adds rigidity and resistance to degradation. Question 2. Explain the structure and function of plasmodesmata in plant cells. Answer. Plasmodesmata are microscopic channels that traverse the cell walls of plant cells and enable transport and communication between them. Structurally, they consist of a central desmotubule derived from the endoplasmic reticulum surrounded by cytoplasmic sleeve through which molecules can pass. Plasmodesmata facilitates the movement of ions, nutrients, and signaling molecules, thus playing a crucial role in cellular communication and coordination of plant development. Question number 3. Describe the process of secondary growth in dicotyledons plant. Answer. Secondary growth in dicotyledons plants is the process that results in an increase in thickness or girth of the plant, primarily through the activity of the vascular cambium and core cambium phalogen. The vascular cambium produces secondary xylem called wood inward and secondary phloem outward. The core cambium forms cork cells on the outside and phloem on the inside, contributing to the formation of the bark. This growth allows the plant to strengthen and increase in diameter over time. Question 4. How do tracheids and vessel elements differ in their structure and function within the xylem? Answer. Tracheids and vessel elements are both types of water conducting cells in the xylem, but they differ in structure and efficiency. Tracheids are long, narrow cells with tapered ends and thick walls containing pits through which water can move. They provide structural support and are less efficient at water conduction compared to vessel elements. Vessel elements are shorter, wider cells with perforated end walls that form continuous tubes called vessels. These are more efficient in water transport due to their larger diameter and open end walls, allowing for rapid water movement. Question number 5. What are major differences between monocot and dicot leaf anatomy? Answer. Monocot and dicot leaves exhibit several anatomical differences. Monocot leaves typically have parallel venation, with veins running in straight lines across the length of the leaf. They possess a single type of mesophyll which is not differentiated into palisade and spongy layers. In contrast, dicot leaves usually have a reticulate venation pattern with a complex network of veins. Dicots have two distinct mesophyll layers: the palisade mesophyll, which is tightly packed and primarily responsible for photosynthesis, and the spongy mesophyll, which has more open structures to facilitate gas exchange. Question number 6. Explain the role of guard cells in regulation of stomatal opening and closing. Answer. Guard cells are specialized cells that flank each stomatal pore and regulate its opening and closing, thus controlling gas exchange and water loss in plants. When guard cells absorb water, they become turgid, causing the stomatal pore to open. This allows for the uptake of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and the release of oxygen. Conversely, when guard cells lose water and become flaccid, the stomatal pore closes, reducing water loss through transpiration. This process is influenced by environmental conditions such as light, carbon dioxide, concentration, and humidity, as well as internal signals like abscisic acid during drift stress. Question number 7. What is the function of endodermis in roots? And what is the significance of Casparian strip? Answer. The endodermis is a single layer of cells surrounding the vascular tissue in roots, functioning as a selective barrier that regulates the flow of water and nutrients from the soil into the vascular system. The Casparian strip is a band of suberin and lignin in cell walls of endodermal cells, which blocks the passive flow of substance through the apoplast cell wall pathway. This ensures that water and dissolved nutrients must pass through the selectively permeable plasma membrane of the endodermal cells, allowing the plants to control the uptake of essential ions and exclude harmful substances. Question number 8. Describe the structure and function of phloem. Answer. The phloem is responsible for the transport of organic nutrients, primarily sucrose, from the photosynthetic tissues source to non-photosynthetic tissue sink. It consists of several cell types: sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma. Sieve tube elements are elongated cells connected end to end to form sieve tubes, through which phloem sap flows. They lack nuclei and have sieve plates at their ends. Companion cells, which are closely associated with sieve tube elements, aid in the loading and uploading of nutrients. Phloem fibers provide structural support, and phloem parenchyma stores and transfers nutrients. Question number 9. What are meristems and how do they contribute to plant growth? Answer. Meristems are regions of undifferentiated, actively dividing cells that contribute to plant growth. There are two main types of meristems: apical meristem and lateral meristems. Apical meristems, located at the tips of roots and shoots, are responsible for primary growth, which increases the length of the plant. Lateral meristems, such as the vascular cambium and core cambium, are involved in secondary growth, which increases the thickness or girth of the plant. Meristematic cells continuously divide and differentiate into various specialized cell types, enabling the plant to grow and develop new tissues and organs. Question number 10. Discuss the structural adaptations of xerophytes that enable them to survive in arid environments. Answer. Xerophytes are plants adapted to survive in arid environments with limited water availability. They exhibit several structural adaptations, including thick cuticle to reduce water loss through transpiration, sunken stomata or stomatal crypts to minimize water loss by reducing exposure to air currents, reduced leaf surface area, often through leaf modifications like spines or needle-like leaves to decrease transpiration, extensive root system that can penetrate deep into the soil to access water or spread out widely to capture surface moisture. Chem photosynthesis, where stomata open at night to reduce water loss while still allowing carbon dioxide uptake. Question 11. What is the function of root hairs and how do they enhance nutrient and water uptake? Answer. Root hairs are extension of root epidermal cells that increase the surface area of the root, enhancing its ability to absorb water and nutrients from the soil. They provide a large contact area with the soil, facilitating the uptake of water by osmosis and absorption of mineral ions through active and passive transport mechanisms. Root hairs are crucial for efficient nutrient acquisition, particularly in the rhizosphere, where they can interact with soil particles and microorganisms to access essential nutrients. Question number 12. Explain the process of double fertilization in angiosperm. Answer. Double fertilization is a unique process in angiosperm where two fertilization events occur within the ovule. When a pollen grain lands on the stigma, it germinates and forms a pollen tube that grows down the style towards the ovule. The pollen tube carries two sperm cells. Upon reaching the ovule, one sperm cell fuses with the egg cell to form the diploid zygote, which will develop into the embryo. The second sperm cell fuses with the two polar nuclei in the central cell of the ovule to form the triploid endosperm, which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. This process ensures that the endosperm only develops in ovules where fertilization has occurred, optimizing resource allocation. Question number 13. Describe the structure and function of chloroplast. Answer. Chloroplasts are organelles found in plant cells and some algae responsible for photosynthesis. They are surrounded by double membrane and contain internal membrane bound structures called thylakoids, which are stacked into grana. The thylakoid membranes contain chlorophyll and other pigments that capture light energy. The stroma, the fluid-filled space surrounding the thylakoids, contains enzymes for the Calvin cycle. Chloroplasts convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH during the light-dependent reactions, and these molecules are used to fix carbon dioxide into organic compounds during the light-independent reaction called Calvin cycle. Question number 14. What are differences between C3 and C4 photosynthesis? C3 and C4 photosynthesis are two different pathways plants use to fix carbon during photosynthesis. In C3 photosynthesis, the enzyme Rubisco fixes carbon dioxide directly into a 3-carbon compound, 3-phosphoglycerate, in the Calvin cycle. This process occurs in the mesophyll cells and in most efficient under moderate light, temperature and CO2 conditions. C4 photosynthesis, on the other hand, involves an additional set of steps where carbon dioxide is initially fixed into a 4-carbon compound, oxaloacetate, by the enzymes PEP carboxylase in the mesophyll cells. This compound is then transported to bundle cells where it releases CO2 for fixation by Rubisco in the Calvin cycle. This mechanism effectively concentrates CO.